Hello, fellow Pops. I'm Dr. F Scott Feil, and I'm bringing you a message from our sponsor at Ice Shaker. My diet's always been a little bit messed up most of my life, and I recently started trying to take back control of my health. And one of the issues my doctor pointed out was that I needed to make an increase in my protein intake. Now, I can't eat chicken breasts all day, every day, so protein shakes and powders have become a big help. Ice Shaker and its built-in removable agitator is an amazing product. They come in a bunch of sizes and colors, and you can even get inscriptions and logos on them. They're stainless steel, double wall insulated, and hold ice for 30 plus hours. If you're interested in purchasing one, you can click on the link in our show notes. Or if you're interested in selling them for your business and making commission, and let's be honest, if you're listening to the Professors of Profit vlogcast and you can consider yourself a pop or a professor of profit, you're likely interested in selling these as a side hustle. You can click on that link in the show notes as well. Or you can reach out to me directly on social media. I'm pretty available there. I love Ice Shaker, and I'm betting you, your patients, and your clients will too. Ice Shaker, let's shake things up. Now let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Professors of Profit vlogcast. I'm your host, Dr. F Scott Feil, and I've got with us today Dr. Derek Nielsen. This is going to be an interesting journey because it kind of goes from healthcare to not so healthcare. So, Derek, tell us a little bit about your background, man, and where you started and where you're at now.
Yeah, I actually just exited the clinic. I owned a cash clinic for 4 years. So went to school, graduated in 2017, and during school, on clinical rotations, I just thought, is this what PT really is? There's got to be more to it than this. So I was trying to figure out what can I do to give people a higher level of care, and ran across cash PT. And said, okay, this is the direction that I want to go, but I don't know what I'm doing. So where can I learn? And so initially I had reached out to quite a few people, and Aaron LeBauer, if anybody knows who he is, he's in the cash PT niche, lives in North Carolina, luckily took me on. And I actually worked for him for a year, where it was clinical residency as well as a business residency. And then he's in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then I moved out I'm currently in Durham, which is about an hour drive from Greensboro, where I opened my clinic for 4 years. And then about 6 weeks ago, I closed it and I went into digital marketing. And as of right now, I'm working for a marketing agency that specializes in car dealerships.
Wow, what a left turn at Albuquerque.
I know.
It does kind of make a little sense, though, and we'll kind of dive into this a little deeper. But tell us a little bit about what is digital marketing. Give us a summary of that first off, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you kind of came to that route.
So digital marketing is really it's getting your product or your service in front of people where they are, which online, Facebook, Google. They've got programmatic advertising. I mean, anywhere online or even TV, like getting it in front of your potential buyers.
Yeah, and I love that because you could be the best physical therapist in the world, but if nobody knows where you are, what you do, what you offer, it doesn't matter. Nobody's coming to see
Correct.
And
Yeah.
so that goes for any product, right? It could be the best product in the world, but if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter. It's not going to sell. So I think right now, obviously, we're in one of the greatest times in the nation, or the timeline of the nation to live, right? Because there's so much opportunity and there's so much that we can do with digital marketing. The opportunities are really endless. So tell us a little bit about why you kind of made the transition, how you made the transition, and kind of what you're focusing on these days.
Yeah, because obviously with cash, because you don't take insurance, and I'm sure that insurance clinics will kind of struggle at first as well, but not like a cash clinic would in regards to getting new patients. You've got to market. And so I really fell in love with marketing in general, but Facebook is really what worked for me. I ran like a webinar funnel. So I made a video and educated people on sciatica back pain. And that's how I really lived for 4 years in the clinic. So I really started falling in love and just kept diving deeper and deeper into the whole world of marketing. and came to a point where I said, well, like you had just said, F Scott, like there's so much opportunity in this world. It really is. And especially with the, the pixel on Facebook kind of getting hit by iOS. Now they're saying cookies are going to eventually be going away. Like the landscape is always changing. And if with the landscape constantly changing, it gives a lot of opportunity for you to come into that niche and kind of take hold of it. And so I just realized like over time that, hey, this is what I really love. This is what I enjoy. And I thought I'd just go full in on it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's from learning how to do it yourself into now turning it into a full-time gig. I mean, that's, kind of what I was doing when I started my mobile physical therapy practice. The first things I did was got a couple of patients just word of mouth, and I did a couple of live injury prevention type things and some seminars, and that worked out well. I got a handful of patients, and that kind of grew slowly and steadily. But at some point, I was like, all right, well, that's one stream of patients, but I got to get some more. I don't know exactly where to go here. What do I do? And so, I was like, all right, I can obviously run some Facebook ads, all right, maybe some Google ads. Those all make sense. But I don't know what I'm doing with that. And so that was a skill set that obviously they didn't teach us in PT school, right? That's not something you learn in Cairo school or nursing or doctors, whatever. You're not going to learn digital marketing in healthcare, right? So it's kind of one of those skill sets that it's up to you to kind of do the deep dive, find people who are doing it, and kind of learn from them. And that's again why I strongly recommend getting you a mentor, or paying for somebody who's already doing what you want to do and having them teach you and educate you. It speeds up your timeline tenfold, and it's they already know. They've been there. They've made the mistakes. They can show you how to avoid them. But I really like that one thing you said there, where it's like, look, the landscape's always changing. So, you know, there's going to be opportunities at every single change to learn how to adapt and be better at it. And it kind of levels the playing field constantly. So as long as you're keeping your finger on the pulse and knowing all the changes and updates, you've got as good a shot as anybody to do pretty well with things.
Well, the other thing about marketing too is that there's so much you can offer. So when it comes to physical therapy, you quickly learn like, okay, I can offer physical therapy, but what else can I offer? And obviously you have the niche that you offer it to, so you've got some opportunity there to try and market to different niches. But you kind of get, at least I did, I kind of got stuck like, how can I build another offer into my business? You could do like massage or yoga, and that's what a lot of PTs eventually do. But it really is thinking like a business owner is where can I insert more offers into my business? And that's how you really start to build up a successful business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of multiple revenue streams. And I say that, but it's still centered around your one thing, right? I'm not trying to have you do 10 different things. It's a book, a course, a training program on strengthening, your one-on-one visits, right? Your patient visits. There's several different layers that you can add into your business. And like you said, each one is going to require a different way to market it and a different way to come at it and approach it. So that's why I do find digital marketing fascinating. It's just there's so many aspects to it, and there's so many different platforms now. And again, what's popular now and working now may not be in the near future.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're seeing this, but TikTok is blowing up, whereas Facebook's kind of starting to dwindle a little.
Yeah, it would be great to see a lot more PTs try and do a course and reach more people with a course. There's a ton of people out there that don't know PT can help them. And so they're not even looking in the direction of physical therapy. And, people building courses, I guarantee there's a lot of people out there that would buy a course to help them. So I hope PTs start going in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even a very, low cost entry level basics of the injury type course, if that's what you specialize in, like, hey, here's a $7 course. It'll give you all the knowledge you need and a couple of things and exercises you can do to kind of help it along, make it better. That right there gets them in your funnel, and if they're willing to pay at that level, there's a strong chance as they get to know, like, and trust you, they're going to pay more and more and more up your value ladder.
Yeah, well, if you want to use it like that as a front end offer, absolutely. But you can also use it just to reach more people. Because, as a service-based business, you're stuck to like a 15-mile radius. But if I make a course and I start advertising that on Facebook, I can target anybody in the United States, Australia, Canada, and start selling my course to anybody. So now I just opened up my world to millions upon millions of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, right? You go from one-on-one care in a very niche market to now, like you said, the one-to-many care. Now you're helping out many people across the world, even the globe, right? People will find you, especially if you market it right, you know?
Yeah.
So why should healthcare practitioners, regardless of the field, look into digital marketing? Why should they get interested in it? Why should, they learn about it?
So I don't necessarily think healthcare practitioners in general should. I think that it's a healthcare practitioner that wants to be a business owner or an entrepreneur. So I don't think everybody should look into it. In fact, most people shouldn't. But anybody who wants to grow a business or anybody that wants to have an online business, then you're going to, at some point, you're going to need digital marketing, even a service-based business, because like you had said, you can do workshops, but what happens when you get busy enough to where you don't have time for a workshop? Then you're kind of like, where do I go from here? And you go in this kind of circular pattern where it's, I got to fill my schedule with the workshop. Now my schedule is full. Oh, I can't do the workshop. And then eventually your schedule starts to dwindle down. Now I got to do another workshop. And you just kind of go in a circle like that. And that's where digital marketing can enter in and actually be a little bit more passive of bringing in leads and patients.
Yeah, it's a good way to clone yourself, right? You're only one person. You can only be in one place at one time. So
Right.
digital marketing is a nice way to clone yourself and get yourself out there and again start indoctrinating people into your services, your business, what you do. I would even argue though that students should probably start looking into digital marketing and new grads should start looking into digital marketing as a way to differentiate themselves from the rest of the pack. If they know how to do digital marketing and they're looking for a job and that clinic doesn't have a good digital footprint, that's a skill set that may
Mm.
rise them above all the other competitors out there, the other people searching for jobs. If you come in and say, hey, look, I noticed you're not running any Facebook ads or Google ads or anything, I can get you ranking on the first page of Google within, a couple weeks. And I can
Mhm.
start running Facebook ads that'll start bringing people in that are your specific niche. So I think it can be used as a skill set that sets you above and beyond as well. And again, I'm talking about this on Monday a little bit on a webinar that I'm doing. That's how to recession proof yourself, essentially, right? And again, I didn't learn digital marketing in school. I didn't know how to do it. I had to reach out and figure it out. But I'm glad I did because now at least I know enough to be a little bit dangerous with it, right? I know enough to like run my own ads, do my own thing. But if I don't want to do that and I don't have the time, I now at least know what I'm looking for in outsourcing and hiring someone to do it.
Mhm.
So that's been super helpful for me.
Yeah, I mean that's such a good point. Making yourself more valuable. The more valuable you can make yourself, the better opportunities you'll find. That is such a good point.
So tell us a little bit about, let's say someone wants to get into digital marketing. Let's say they want to start maybe an agency or something like that. What are some tips, some tricks, some tools of the trade that you've learned now, being in it for a while now? What are some tips you can give the audience for starting up a digital marketing agency?
Well, I don't have an agency, so I can't really give them tips about that, but I can give you tips about how to start understanding the landscape, run some ads, and get some success out of it. Um, YouTube definitely has a bunch of stuff. Like you can go there and start learning. If you wanted to run Facebook ads, they've actually got a free course that will help you at least understand the platform. All of these, like Google Ads has the same thing. They'll give you a free course that'll help you start understanding a platform. So you can absolutely start there. And then, you can go to YouTube for more free stuff. And then I would recommend just taking a course. So my personal favorite person or the person who's helped me by far the most is Frank Kern. He has taught me about how to run Facebook ads, how to be profitable with them, how to test, how to write copy. Like he's got everything you need, but you don't just stop there. It's always trying to learn new stuff. And I think courses for myself, courses has been the way that I've come along and learned other than making mistakes, right? But that's the way that I knew what to do, what to try, was through a course for the majority of what I've done.
Yeah, there's so many good people out there. There's also some not so good people out there, so buyer beware. But do your homework, right? Like, follow the free stuff. Frank Kern's got a ton of free stuff out there. You can look him up on YouTube and on Facebook and stuff, and he's got a bunch of free stuff out there. There's a ton of really good digital marketers out there. Start following them. Interact with them on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, right? Leave comments like, what did you learn? Like, hey, thanks for that tip, and whatever. And the algorithm will start seeing who you're following, who you're interacting with, and they'll send you more of that stuff, right? So little by little, you'll get to hopefully know, like, and trust some of the digital marketers out there. And copywriters, that's a whole nother rabbit hole I can't get down today. But copywriting, I was an English major, right? So I thought I'd be great at copywriting. I was like, this will be easy. Wrong I was. That's a whole nother language. It took me about 6 months and about 10 books to figure out what copywriting was. Totally different. But it's been great for me. Now, it's been a lot of what I've been doing freelancing on the side has been copywriting. It's been super lucrative and I've loved it. But it's also tied into digital marketing because you have to know how to write copy in order to write a good, Facebook ad or Google ad or, whatever it may be. So it all kind of melds together. But at the same time, it is constantly changing. So you've got to kind of stay up on it. But man, I am loving the lifelong learner approach and just constantly reading books and taking courses, going
podcasts.
Podcasts are great. Mentors, like I said. There's just so many opportunities out there. And again, if it's something that you want to dive into, I strongly recommend, doing your research, starting to follow people, enjoy all the free content, and then little by little start paying, for whatever they have to offer here and there. And eventually you'll get good enough where I'm good to go. I don't need this, or I really need something on this. So I'm going to purchase this course, or, just kind of knowing, what you need when you need it. Because again, I didn't know that. I didn't know what I didn't know, when I first started.
Yeah, and the listeners might also, because you can start seeing people's ads. If you go to Facebook or Google Facebook Library, you can start seeing other people's ads. So that it lines them out. So you could search by keyword or search by marketer, but then it also lines it out by how long has that ad been running.
Yeah. So
if I scroll all the way to the bottom and I see an ad's been running for a year, that ad is working. So you can start to kind of develop. You can start to develop a somewhere to put these ads so that like, hey, this is what's working, and kind of mimic it as well as you can. So that's another good tool that I think could help people along as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great tips, Derek. I appreciate your time, man, for coming on to kind of educate people about digital marketing. Hopefully they'll do a little deeper dive. Where can people reach out to you and find you on the socials and whatnot if they want to ask you more questions or just see what you're up to these days?
Facebook is still where I'm at. Definitely probably dating myself a little bit, but that's where I'm at. So Derek, Derek Nielsen, Nielsen is where you'll find, that'll be the best place to find me.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll drop that in the show notes so people can find you easily. Derek, thanks again for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.